am a naturalist. I don't think at the foundations of nature there is a deliberate plan. There may be a deliberate plan to nature as we perceive it. If you look at the sum total of the evidence available to those willing to look today, it's not as implausible an idea as I used to think it was. But even if that's the case, then the foundations of nature behind that setup are then naturalistic. There clearly is a natural impetus to movement, meant in a very generic way, to changes of state, to dynamism in nature. Nature is going somewhere. It's doing something. Whether it knows what it's doing or not, it's definitely not resting. It's not quiet. It is going somewhere. So there is a will. As an idealist, if nature is a field of subjectivity, then there is an impetus to action, which is best describable as a will. But a will to what? It's not the Freudian will to pleasure. It is not the Nietzschean will to power. It could be a will to meaning, but even the concept of meaning requires higher level mental functions, metacognition, symbolic reasoning, and all that. So it can't be that either. I think a raw, non-metacognized will to self-knowledge is probably the best guess. If we could put it in a simple statement, and what is going on? What is it that's going on? What am I? Well, I experience. What's going on? I have these experiences. And that provides impetus for change. And then it so happens, whether set up or not, that the species evolves on planet Earth and probably countless other planets that has developed higher level mental functions. And now through their eyes, nature can contemplate itself and can start to get a bit of a grip on what's going on. So through our eyes, the subjectivity of nature can look around and say, oh, this is me. This is what's happening. This is what I'm doing. And this may be an instinctive drive. And therefore, it took 4 billion years on this planet to get there. Because there wasn't a map constructed in the beginning and a clear vision of where the universe wanted to be. You know, it was feeling its way all along. It's getting warmer or is it getting colder? And it's not an optimal trajectory. And in that process, there is tremendous carnage, a lot of blood spilled. That's my best guess today for what's going on. And interestingly, and by the way, Jung wrote extensively about this in Answer to Job. Religion has all the metaphors for this. The God of the Old Testament, Yahweh, was somewhat unconscious, not because he was not phenomenally conscious, but because he was not metacognitive, and did to Job what he did, very unfair actions against Job. And Job confronted Yahweh with that. And I was a righteous man. I know I lived by the book. So why did you kill my children, stole my cattle, and made me ill? Why am I being punished? And if you read the book of Job, God then goes on a tirade, like, I am the power behind the storms. And he doesn't answer the question, although he gave an audience to Job. And the answer then comes in the New Testament when God incarnates and becomes a man. So he can experience what it is to be part of creation and without potential unfairness. And that enlightens God, and God becomes the summum bonum. So through the eyes of humans, God evolves. That's the message of religion. God becomes more metacognitive, more self-aware of what's going on through Jesus, through the Christ incarnated. And I find that a wonderful metaphor, especially when Christ is also God himself and the Holy Spirit that permeates the whole of existence. I think that is an incredibly sophisticated metaphor for the 4th century. It's a phenomenal human achievement.